Well, thank you very much, Mr. Bear, for coming for coming to this interview. It's a really pleasure to have you. It's a great honor to like start. Like I tell you before, I don't know what's the word. Fuck! And you started the word. Start like
You're doing good.
joining our communities, like the English community and the Spanish community. Is a great honor to me for to have you. So for people that doesn't know you, who are you? What do you do? Tell us about you a little bit.
Uh, I am TripolarBear. You've probably seen a few build guides. If you saw anybody playing Ice Trap, apparently that was me. I very it feels weird, but I guess all the people playing Ice Trap were just following my video. Uh, so that's me. I do content creation. Obviously, I stream on Twitch. I do YouTube videos. Primarily just build guides, making really nice POBs and money making videos and whatnot. And this is my first time on a podcast, so thank you a lot for inviting me on. It's pretty cool to speak with a community that I only get a glimpse of, I suppose, from other people in my chats saying like they're from South America and trying to get like their opinion on things. So it's nice to speak with another content creator about this kind of stuff, get some other opinions because it's very, very English focused on Reddit and
Yeah,
whatnot. So I don't get to see too much of that here.
yeah, exactly. Like that's a great point. There is a lot of people that play PoE in the Spanish community, in the I don't know if I can say Brazilian, like Portuguese community, if you can say. But everybody just go into the English community because it's the biggest, and like the
Mhm.
tools and some translation about PoE is not exactly right. So I just say people like go play PoE in English. Like it's better. Like there is problems in English anyways. Like there's things that don't make exactly sense, but it's
Yeah,
better. Like there is something that are translated like in the wrong way. So and tools like
I've never even thought of that before. That's
yeah,
crazy. Just like in the game itself, it's
yep.
translated wrong.
Yeah, there's thing
That's
like
rough.
I don't, I'm sorry if someone that did that job is watching this. I'm sorry, but some things just look like you took the thing and throw it in Google Translator, and you can't do that in
Yeah,
PoE. You cannot do that.
I mean that's what I would do.
Well, yeah, there's some things like maybe specific things, like not like the broad stuff, but yeah, there's specific things that just doesn't work. Like makes no sense when you try to apply it. Like more multiplier and increase multiplier. I think they fixed that, but there was several skills that said more when it's actually increased in Spanish. So
That's
that's
really bad.
yeah, that already like breaks the skill. That doesn't make sense. I'm not sure if they fixed that. I tried playing Spanish when the Spanish version came out like a few years ago, and I said nope, there is no way. So I went back to English. And yeah, there are some things like that, like just funnels everyone into the English community, and that's not exactly bad. But there's a lot of voices that just people don't hear because maybe a language barrier or something. Like people just don't know their opinions. So I wanna talk with you a little bit about that. But before going there, like I just wanna know you, or and people that doesn't know you a little bit better. Like why do you stream? Like, why do you stream? Why do you play PoE? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Uh, so I stream now because I uploaded a random video once and it actually popped off, and it kind of just steamrolled from there. For a while there, I would kind of just like release really low effort, kind of like honestly shitty videos where it was like top 5 league starters you should play for Metamorph League, and then it was like play this guy's Spectre build or play this guy's Totem build. And, like
Yeah.
stuff like that was like working, and I had a couple like silly videos where I would just have a PowerPoint presentation like top 5 things you
Yeah.
need to know for art or something, right? Like eat your nuts and drink your water. And I'd have a little giggle doing that, right? Have some fun, and people like that. And so I was like, fuck, I should actually just try streaming, right? Like give it a shot if YouTube random videos are working well. And I did it for a little bit, but I would do like the first 2 weeks, right? I was one of those guys. you hit it hard for 2 weeks, and I
Yeah.
just stopped streaming for the next 2.5 months. Because I was like, this is boring. I'm gonna go play classic WoW. But after that, like, then I got into it, and since pretty much Harvest League, I've been doing like the full time commitment, right? Like, doing the 5 hour or more streams at like 2 p.m. Central, something like that. YouTube videos, just trying to make very good league start build guides, and then just very nice POBs. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I've just been on the grind, and it seems to be working well. So I'm just keeping on doing it. Uh, but the backup plan is to become a teacher. So not bad if this falls through.
Oh well, this is a great way to start. Like you're teaching PoE, like
Exactly.
that.
I could maybe, yeah, it could be a bonus. Hey, check out my YouTube channel, TripolarBear. I could teach the students just like I taught everybody in PoE.
That's amazing. Actually, like there is a small set of people that want to become teachers, and I'm really like
There it is.
grateful.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I don't know
very
about
small.
I don't want to get into that. Sorry, but just a little thing like here in Latin
Mhm.
America, like being a teacher is a really low paid job, and I think it takes a big toll on you. And there's some jobs like you can do like the like so you can be like, oh yeah, I'm just making shoes, I'm not paying too much attention, don't be very enthusiastic about that. But when you are a teacher, you should be really enthusiastic about that, because you're teaching people some skill. And and people, like, I know it for experience. Like, it's my teacher is like teaching me like shit. They don't like their job, they're just doing like the minimum effort. I don't like that. So I really appreciate like people trying to become a teacher, and that's awesome. That's
Mhm.
awesome, actually. So yeah, so you're gonna try to be, or are you right now a full-time content creator?
Yeah, I have been for a little bit. It makes it, I don't know, weird. I guess I'm stigmatized or something against that. Anytime I've heard other people say it, it was kind of just like, oh, really? But I mean, that's what
Mm,
I'm doing right now. So yeah. I used to tutor English online through some program, which was kind of just like imagine Discord calls like we're doing right
yeah.
now,
Mm,
but there are like games that you can play with the students as well as that. And so I was doing that to or for Chinese children through some like big online something or another, right? If you Google online teaching job, it's going to be like the first 20, right? Are going to be all these little websites and whatnot. I was doing that for a while, and then it was like I could just keep streaming instead of having to like end it early or whatever. And put more time into this. So yeah, I mean, this is all I'm doing right now. It's
I
working out fairly well so far,
Oh,
but
awesome.
my best league so far, uh, it's shitty. It was this one, which is
Oh,
probably the
really?
worst league so far for a lot of people. I feel, at least for a while now. It's a little down in the dumps, but a little doom and gloom. But it's not so bad.
Yeah,
I've
I
got big.
wanna. I was gonna touch on that. Like if you're a full-time content creator, I'm trying myself to get into that point. So what do
Mhm.
you like? How does it feel the league in terms of content creation? Like, do you feel like there is not much to do? Like there's less people coming into your stream or stuff like that? How does it feel?
Uh, I feel that there is kind of not so much to do that hasn't been done already.
Yeah.
Uh, if I was like looking out for new content is only for me kind of right now, like builds and stuff. Recently, I've just been doing like money making videos because it's like, hey, I'm gonna like test out Legion, right? Like, how much money can you make using rusted Legion scarabs and new Vastir for, getting more timeless emblems and stuff like that, or like a fun new build guide, right? Like the self cast forbidden, right? It's a pretty
Yeah.
interesting build. You're harming yourself, putting a bunch of ball lightnings everywhere. There's a lot of stuff like that, but outside of logbooks, I feel like there wasn't too much added to the end game, and logbooks I feel don't really push builds too much in the same way 100% Delirium pushed builds for Delirium League and things like that. And it's not fair to compare everything to like end game progression of Delirium,
Yes.
but it does feel a little stale. Honestly, after Gauntlet, I'm just gonna start testing League starters. I feel like I could try to dick around with random builds, but I'm just gonna test some. League starters are just really low budget builds, so it'll be interesting doing that afterwards.
Right.
Yeah, I have big
So
hope for 3.6.
so yeah, like you have some stuff in mind to do in PoE. That's awesome. Like for me, it's a little bit different. Like I'm starting to hit the point when I'm like, all right, I'm done for the league. I'm just gonna try some other stuff. And yeah, well, but before getting into that, like, what keeps you in PoE, and not I mean in this league, like what keeps you in PoE, like as a game?
Uh, Outside of content creation, because I mean, obviously, as a streamer and Mr. Broadcaster making YouTube videos, I mean, like I gotta play PoE. I can't, I probably could, but people would be far less interested in a video of me playing Metal Gear Solid for the PlayStation 2 on an emulator or something, right? Or like the new something or another, right? Uh, it would still be fun and whatnot, but from that angle, I mean, I play PoE because it's kind of my job, like I have to and whatnot. Which doesn't mean I don't like playing PoE, because there's a lot to like, right? Even as bad as this league was, at the end of the day, it's still better, in my opinion, than Diablo 2, Path of
Yeah.
Diablo, like that D2 mod, Diablo 3, Last Epoch. There are, I guess, Grim Dawn as well. There's probably a couple more. Wolcen, right?
Yeah.
Whatever game that was. Right? Like, it's still fucking PoE at the end of the day, right? It's still the best ARPG we have.
Yeah.
Like, I still love PoE. Even as annoying as some of the changes were, mainly flasks and just like the global reduction in everything, right? Like, they even hit cast speed to
Yeah.
just like make your casting slower on Flame Dash and all the stuff like that, right? Like, there's so
Yeah.
much shit like that. It's still PoE. Like, I still like playing it. It's still fun. There's still things that I, haven't played yet, right? Like, I still kind of want to play Rage Vortex. There's stuff like that because it looks cool with your weapon effect just spinning around. It looks a little silly, but there's still stuff to like about it at the end of the day. So, what pulls me to PoE is really just like build creation, finding a really good build, and I really fucking like that the players are all trying to find and push like what's broken in the game, right until the
Yes.
breaking point, right? Everything is just like, oh shit, we just found like this crazy new interaction, right? Like, I still want to do that. What was it? It was like reverse proj speed
Oh yeah,
fireball.
fireball.
I
Yeah.
don't know if yeah, like I want to do something with that. I don't know what the fuck to do with it, but like that's really cool. Like instant transmission, like fireballs just instantly exploding.
Yeah, and the AOE is insane because it comes like its full length, like it went through three screens across, so it explodes like the whole screen. It's amazing. Yeah, I wanted to play that, but I don't know. Like that's the thing. In terms of that, I try to look at that way. Like, this is my job. This is what I should be doing because this is what most people wanna see me playing. But at the same time, like I get a little burnt out, and I don't wanna be like, um, oh, I hate, like, well, I just gonna say it. Fuck it. Like Somade, like he made a video about it. Like, he was burnt out and don't wanted to keep playing PoE and stuff. I don't want to get to that point. Like, and I'm not saying like he's a bad content creator or anything. Like, he was doing. I saw a lot of his content and I liked it. Like, I'm sorry that it went to that far. Like, obviously, I see that and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to hate PoE. I like PoE, but I don't want to play it to the point that I hate it. I don't want to do that.
Mhm,
So yeah,
mhm.
I'm on your side. Like, content creation helps me to keep playing PoE because I only play when I'm streaming or I'm making a video or something. So that's like reduce the amount of hours I need to get to the breaking point to like to make a metaphor about that. So yeah. Well, about this league, like, you think as well, like, that's crazy. You think this league is bad? Wow, why is that?
Yeah. I think a lot of it is kind of there's like a little doom and gloom there. So like everybody was very negative about it right away, so it's already kind of set that expectation. Like everybody was saying this is going to be the worst league ever, so everything's a little more exasperated than it already would have been. Just like that expectation going into the league. Um, but like overall, I mean, nobody likes to have less damage. Nobody likes less build diversity as much as I don't know. Chris Wilson said build diversity was up. It like I guess it is a little bit, but it feels like while some new skills were added, so technically people are playing SST, technically people are playing Forbidden Right, which obviously they couldn't before, and Rage Vortex, I Winner and stuff like that. It feels like the total amount of builds that you could play in the end game has gone down
Yes.
just because of nerfs to damage and whatnot, right? And that's what I feel people talk about is just like the potential for you to make a good build. It's so much harder to have a build that has enough defense so you're not just getting one shot, has enough damage so everybody doesn't spam ZDPS in the chat, has enough recovery so you don't have to spam an instant life flask all the time. It's so fucking difficult. Like hit everything on every build, and so you've seen like I know on League Start you see so many people that are just like fuck it, dude. Like I'll go 2 point whatever K life, I'll go 3.5K life. I'll just have all my damage, right? Casting damage or cast on Death Portal, right? Like so much stuff like that. It's unfortunate. Seeing stuff like that, kind of sucks and it makes it down. Obviously, what sucks a lot as well is speed and whatnot with the speed reduction
Yes.
and everything. Touched on that. I like going really fast. It's really fun. Just playing like a really zoomy build. You get your inspired learning or your headhunter and you start running around really fast. Stuff like that. And even without it, right? I'm just like Raider. You just zoom around. Like everybody loves Raider because you just run fast all the time.
Yes,
Even
exactly.
at times.
Like I started playing Explosive Concoction. I really wanted to try out the skill. It was a bad
It
choice.
looks kind of
But
yeah.
yeah, it's a
It
bad
sounds
choice. No,
cool.
no.
Yeah.
It's a worse. It's like what Turkey said. It's exactly like that. It's a worse trap. It's like a trap, but without the upside of playing a trap. It's just bad, and it was a little sad. Like on the other side, it was like, yeah, it's a new skill. It might suck, and I knew what I was getting into, like playing like Cracking Lands. Like that's
Yeah.
another thing I did, and it was a mistake.
You almost got me on that one.
Yeah, it looked really cool, but yeah,
It
it's
did, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
you can go back in my Discord, and I'm like, I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking play this ability. It looks so fucking sick. And then like all it comes out like they were using Impulsa, and then they released Gem Info, and I was like, all right, let me go back and delete that. Like I'm actually not playing this.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. Like on the other side, I don't wanna they go the other side. Like everything new is absolutely broken. Like sometimes in Dota they introduce a new hero and it's bonkers. Like there is a stupid. There is no way to play it wrong, and I don't want that in PoE. But just give a little bit more room. Like there is only one video I saw, like someone playing explosive concoction to kill the fear, and the amount of currency that build had, like I'm talking like 2 mirrors, and it wasn't like really like he one shotted everything. No, it wasn't like that. It was doing the fear like just enough to did the
Yeah.
fear. So I don't know how they test like I don't know, like we're starting to get into the conversation of how many skills should be able to do the fear. What do you think about
Yeah.
that, Len? What do you think?
I mean, when people put like almost infinite money into a build, I think like at that point it's just PUE, right? Like anything reasonable, right? As long as you're not like as long as you're not scaling elemental damage and using brutality in your links or something, so then you deal no Ellie, right? Like obviously that build's not gonna be able to do anything, but like reasonably, I think with infinite money, like most abilities should be able to like do whatever content in the game. I think like the problem with stuff like explosive concoction is like it's not good at clear and it's not good at single target. It's not good with its coverage. So like why the fuck would I ever play it versus anything else, right? Like it has no pros. It seems like it's all just like, it's like meh and everything. Like you could technically do it, but it's just not, it doesn't excel at anything. Whereas like Forbidden Right, for example, just excels at pumping damage,
Yes.
right? Like you use Forbidden Right to do a lot of damage. SST Bleed, it's got a lot of damage on it. And it's got enough damage, excuse me, the bleed does. Cold Convert, obviously, is a little nutty. But like there's some pros and cons there, right? Like they've got strengths and like, maybe there's some weakness there, but I think it would be nice to just like have new abilities, like excel at like one thing. And then, if it comes out that they excel at like more than one thing, maybe take it down a little bit. But like, I don't think you should be able to do everything in the game very well with every ability. I think it would be nice to just have like specialty things. Like I think it's almost kind of cool to have a mapping build and then a bossing build, right? Like you're specifically mapping here or whatever, and then there's like 3 builds per league that are like really good all-arounders. And like that's the peak, right? You finally get an all-arounder, like it's good clear and you could do single target.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're talking like old PoE before I think Betrayal was the first 3.0 kind of expansion. Like Chris talked about this. Like there is leagues like 2.0 leagues like Breach, and there is 1.0 leagues like Talisman, and there is 3.0 leagues like Betrayal. Like the amount of content each one, there is a big jump between each one.
Yeah.
And when we were in 2.0, like Breach, that kind of stuff, Harbinger, those leagues, there is a lot of people, like I did that. Like you had one mapping build and one bossing build. Eh, I don't know if that's the good way to play right now, but it's really hard because you have conquerors now. So to progress, like if I like mapping, I still need to kill conquerors to progress my atlas.
And Maven invitations, yeah.
Yeah, and the Maven invitations. So I need to be able to kill bosses.
Yeah.
So
every league starter has to be able to kill bosses,
so
which makes it so fucking difficult. Yeah. Like, I think that's something that was brought up in one of the recent podcasts. I know Grim talked about that. Just the fact that like every league starter kind of has to be a bosser, right? You don't really get to start as a mapping kind of character, which does kind of suck, right? Like, when you start as like, you can start as Ice Shot technically as a league starter, but you're just going to be doing white maps, right? Like you could maybe do like red map bosses. You're never getting conquerors, so you're not getting your watchstones. So like, maybe you have a friend that can come and kill him for you or something, right? Like that kind of stinks. And maybe that's the way they want it, but I hope not going forward, right? Kind of makes it a little bland.
Yeah, we were talking about that in our community, and we were like, yeah, what about if we have like the standard game that is do the axe, do the atlas, kill zeros, and everything beyond that point, that's end game. That you need a very specific build to do that. Like if you want to do maybe invitations, yeah, you need to do a special build for that, because you don't really need the points for the central atlas. You don't really need that to progress or to make money or to do stuff. Like it helps, it really helps, but you don't really need that. Same with Simulacrum. Like not every build needs to do round 20 in Simulacrum. You don't really need to do that. But everyone that I know feels like they need to finish the atlas. And if they cannot finish the atlas, if they cannot kill zeros, it sucks. Like they feel like they are wasting their time. And I don't think Chris, I'm gonna say Chris just to put like a face to GG, but obviously it's not just Chris. It's a whole a team behind that. Thinks that it's okay that you get stuck at tier 5 maps. And I think that's a problem because everybody starts with the expectation that, all right, there is obviously better builds I can do. Like if I play Toxic Rain starter versus, I don't know, Lacerate starter. Like Lacerate is not that bad, but Toxic Rain is way better to start with. Like there is like it's stupid to compare it.
Yeah.
Like it's so good.
ATR Raider just, lets you clear so much faster, and like the single targets, it like on Toxic Rain, it's kind of bad, but it's just like barely enough to be able to go through your Atlas and whatnot. Like it's not the worst, like it's still doable. I mean, for softcore players, it feels ZDPS, but it just means your Conqueror takes a little bit, right? You've got to run around in a circle for a little while, but yeah, some abilities like you do kind of get shafted a little bit, and it makes it really rough, right? You on a league start, if you want to do your Conquerors, you do kind of have to like be really good at the game, like really good, or you just have to follow a league start build guide pretty much, right? Follow one of your boys' build guides, get the POB and follow it up and whatnot. But yeah, I think it's a little rough. I mean, I think like most people should be able to get through yellow maps. I think the
Yes.
real wall is going to be like red map conquerors, and then definitely, if you're uncomfortable, Cyrus is a really difficult fight. And like Cyrus, I tell people all the time, but like Cyrus is really fucking difficult until you finally have just like ripped all 6 portals like 5, 6, 7 times, right? Like once you just like die every single time, but like you learn a little bit, just a little bit. Like, oh, I just saw him teleport first, like, and that was the real one. And now you know that the first one for the little 4 split phase, like,
Yes.
ooh, this guy up here was first, right? Boom, boom. Like, okay, there we go. And you just have to go through that process. But processes like that are so fucking frustrating because Cyrus can drop an Awakener Orb. You know that he can drop Awaken Multi-Strike or whatever, right? Like,
Yes.
oh, dude, he could drop 25 Exalts. And then you die, and it's just like, fuck, dude, like, this sucks. Like, I should have just got someone else to do it.
And
Like, my
take
build
some
sucks.
time to
And it's
get
just
there.
like, yeah.
That's the
It
thing
does,
that
yeah.
frustrates a lot of players. Like, it's not like, oh shit, I failed. All right, I just wanna do this map again and try again. No, you need to do like 20
Exactly.
more maps to get there again.
Yeah. All 4 conquerors over again. Yeah. It's a little rough ripping it. But hopefully everybody, eventually gets through it all. I try to tell people, goofy little hints to get them through the fight, right?
Yeah.
Like if you eat Cyrus's ass, right? Like it's a silly thing to say, but I mean, like in the last phase,
True.
if you're always on him and behind him, he can't die beam you, right? Because he always does it in front. So, you just sneak around behind him, right? Little things like that.
Yeah,
Try to
exactly.
help out, right? But yeah.
Also,
At the end of the day,
Cyrus,
it's so frustrating.
Cyrus is like it's a weird fight. Like it's really weird because Shaper is very well telegraphed everything. Like you know everything. Like it takes you 1, 2, maybe 3 fights, and you know everything about Shaper, and it's still challenging because you have like a timer because you need to kill her before there is too many balls on the map and stuff. And same with
Especially with
Elder.
Maven now too.
Yeah, Maven
Mhm.
as well, but Zeros is like, I don't know if I figured it out or I saw a video, but I think I saw a video. Like you need to stand behind him for him to come down. That's so weird. Like how the fuck you know that? How you know
Like
that?
Cyrus on release was such a shit show. Because I'm sure you were there for Metamorph League, right?
Yeah,
Like where the balls were chasing you, like stuff
yeah.
like that was like beyond frustrating. They're like, oh, dude, remember
And the
those
stairs.
Shaper cross balls? Like, let's do that, but with big death balls that can lock you out of the arena. Like, this is a good
Oh,
idea. I'm like, all right, I'm glad they got rid of that. But Cyrus does feel a little different, but I like the Cyrus fight because I know it now.
yeah.
And I fucking hated it when I didn't know it. But like it feels cool. Like you're part of the cool kids like table or the
Yes.
club because you finally understand it. Like you know and recognize each and every like little part, and you have a little plan, right? When he does like all 8 little split copies or whatever, you have like a plan. It's like, all right, some people they like to get really close. I like to just circle outside all the copies, right? Once you have like a little plan for each and everything and you can fit it all together, like it feels cool. It's like, oh fuck yeah, like I could do this on any build. Like, oh yeah, fuck you, Cyrus. Like I finally got you down. I'm not ripping my portals anymore. No one's keg Wing, laughing at my damage or whatever, because at least I can get them down on my league
Yeah.
starters. But yeah, man, like before then, there's a lot of like little things that you have to pick up on. There's like so many little things in Cyrus that you almost have to like watch your own fight, like as if you're like recording yourself playing, watch it back, and then you'll notice something. But it's so hard to do that in the moment because he's
Yes.
just like he's jumping everywhere, and then he taunts you. He's like talking smack to you, and then he lasers you. And it's like, what the hell, man? Like he just teleported off screen. But like he didn't really, right? He like swiveled his body, looked somewhere, teleported, and like unless you're paying attention so much to that, there's so much easy stuff to miss. Whereas like Shaper just goes like douche, 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 and then you've got like three balls coming at you. Or like he has his beam and then you can kind of like eat it a little bit and move out. Like there's stuff like that, but like Cyrus is very unforgiving. But you know, once you learn it, you're good, pretty much.
You think it will be all right that if you fail Cyrus, you can just go again?
Uh
Or you think it's okay that it resets all the Atlas and you need to kill the four conquerors again?
I think it would be much, I don't know, it would be a lot less cool and it would be less rewarding to finally figure it out if you could just like keep bashing your head against like Cyrus for like
All right.
3 hours until you finally get it. And I get that it's frustrating. It's like, I don't know, it's a little game, right? Of like, what do you want to maximize? Like, do you want to maximize like how nice it feels to finally conquer, right, Cyrus? Or do you want to maximize and speed up like players' ability to finally learn Cyrus? And I think it's like a very tricky game that they have to like try to balance, right? Like, how good does it feel to finally get through that wall to make Cyrus, you know, to finally get him done. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's better the way it is now, but you know, maybe with some bosses in the future, they could have something like that, like Shaper fragments, right? Like maybe Cyrus fragments in the future, but to have a boss that like does take a little bit is rewarding.
right. So that's interesting. I thought you were in the in the group of people that wanted like, yeah, let's do it a little bit faster or something. But I understand like it's a really good point. If you have it like not easy exactly, but if you can just die and try again until you finally get it, there is
Mhm.
not many stakes. It's not so rewarding, and that's true. That's actually true.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting that if you what's your take on leaks right now? Like we have so many leaks on PoE, like so much content. For some people it's way too much. Like some people, I'm talking mostly like new people because I see them.
Mhm.
They come to my chat and say like, all right, I just found this thing that I need to put like organs, but I never see organs on my loot filter. My loot filter is wrong or something. And this
Yeah.
lady is singing. I don't know what to do. Like, you know, that's a lot of stuff. And there is other people like, for example, Preach, that was like, oh, that's so cool. I have so much stuff to do. That I love that. You think it will be okay to eliminate some leaks or rotate some leaks? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean they have to, right? They can't keep adding things every single league. Like what are you going to have your expedition stash, your heist locker,
Yeah.
your like X league whatever, the chest, the bank, the like at some point like they have to, like you said, either cycle things out or just remove them. I think they're Chris, I'm pretty sure just blatantly said like prophecy's gone next league.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're starting to do that. If they're not going to make talismans good at this point, you know, like what 5 or 10 people maybe in the league are going to have like a really good talisman, and that's only because of like Jorgen, like doing something with them. Maybe removing some things like that. I guess talisman's not that good of an example because it is just like an amulet. There's no mechanic to it, but
Yep.
I think cycling things in and out would be kind of nice, but it would, I don't know, like it's so fucking tricky, right? Because if you cycle Syndicate out, now we don't have Ashling, and now we're not getting
Yeah.
like a bunch of scarabs and like a lot of other things that come from like Syndicate. Like, what are we just not
Well,
going to have
I
our
don't know.
diadem for them to
Actually,
use?
maybe they can do that because it's a master, right? Like but maybe like Harbinger. They can just cycle out Harbinger, and there is no beachheads, there is no Harvey uniques that leak. What do you feel
Yeah,
about that?
I mean that like not having torrents reclamation or like
Yeah.
any of the stuff like that is a belt that a lot of people really like because it just makes you faster in every way. I think they'd have to probably put things on like some different drop table, or maybe they would have some reliquary like in previous
Mm.
leagues. It would be like Harbinger reliquary, right? Like you're not going to find Harbinger in maps or whatever. But something like that. But I don't know. It's so tricky, right? Because there's so much stuff in the game, and like you want to have Harbinger in your Beyond maps, right? So if they are they going to bring Harbinger scarabs out of the game for that league then too, or do you just like not randomly encounter them? I don't know. It's so difficult to solve like the league bloat problem without just removing some league mechanics and just like putting them somewhere else, right? Without just removing Harbinger and putting the loot somewhere else or something. I think it's like it's a huge problem they're gonna have to solve for, because it is like it's so overwhelming how much stuff is in the game for a new player. Like it seems every act they introduce like one or two league mechanics. You hit act 6 and it's like, oh shit, my resistance is gone. I'm in like a new town, and then also there's heist, by the way. Like now there's heist. Like, you could do heist now, by the way. Like there's a whole fucking end game system just out of
Yes.
nowhere in act 6, right? And that just keeps happening. And like now if it keeps going, there's going to be like 2 new complete systems
Yes.
in act 6 and then 7 and 8, and you're just always getting sidetracked. I don't know, it's really tricky. Best of luck to him. All right, I'm glad I'm not getting to figure that problem out.
If you had to eliminate one league, which one will you choose? And Talisman doesn't count.
And let's say prophecy can't count either.
Yeah,
um
let's say prophecy now
I
because
mean,
we
that's
know that
getting,
rape.
yeah. uh Honest to God, I think it would be cool to take away bestiary, but have
Mm.
like something else that replaces bestiary crafts. I only say this because it's like one of the most boring things to encounter in a map on multiple levels is just like it's a beast and you kill him and like he comes and he takes it. But like also for me, some like Spurgy Zoomer, Einhart is way too slow capturing beasts. Like you have to like sit there and wait, because if you run off screen right away, then the beast doesn't get captured. Like you have to like sit there and wait. It's like 0 HP. It's like sitting there like and it's like, all right, Einhart, like let's speed it up, dude. I want to go kill those monsters. And it's just like the crafts I really like, right? Bestiary
Yes.
recipes are very good. Imprinting, splitting is like super, super OP. And then even just adding mods to flasks, but like, bestiary in general is kind of annoying. I like Einhard though. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
hard to remove any one mechanic, right? Like what one would you remove?
Yeah, I don't know. Like mystery really makes me think. Like that's a good answer because you can just put all the craft on the bench and make it like if you kill a certain beast, like Heinar doesn't have to capture. You just kill it. You get one use, like the map device. You have the infuse harbinger, for example. You have one use of that. You have now one use of imprinting, for example. You don't need to kill anything. You just click it. Now you have an imprint. That's a
Yeah.
good thing. But I don't know. I was thinking like metamorph. Like it's not a bad league, but I don't know about that. I never liked the league. Like and I enjoy it. I enjoy the league, but it's weird. It's like loot, but it's delayed because the boss itself is not bad. The you get your boss, you create your boss. That's not bad, but the organ part, like you get a brain, and for a starter, like how many leaks, and I don't get what eyes. You never get eyes. Like you have like 20 brains,
Yeah.
like 50. I don't know whatever the else,
That is really
and you
annoying.
have two
Yeah.
eyes. Like that sucks, and I don't know when they're gonna solve that. I don't know. So I really hate that part because I don't hate Metamorph itself, but I hate that system, and I almost never interact with metamorph, like ever. I have
Mhm.
some organs, but I don't ever do it because one, it's not really rewarding. Like it's rare. Like, and someone can go like, yeah, MP got 2 Exile for killing one. Yeah, but MP got
Yeah.
it, and 50 million other people didn't get anything. Like, so
Yeah, I mean, I think Metamorph is really just for catalysts, right? Like if you hit Fertile
yeah,
Catalyst or the resistance one, it's like 5C, 8C, like if you get some. So like it is like it's good for catalysts. Catalysts are nice, but yeah, the whole Metamorph thing, like it's always worth it to use a rusted meta scarab. Like as long as you kill the boss at the end, you always will get your money back from the catalyst.
yes,
But like the whole organ boss thing, like it's just compared to any other like next level, right? You have like blights in a map, and then you have a
yes.
blight map. You have legions, and then legion emblems, and then you have like metamorph, and then you have like another one. You have like
Yeah.
another metamorph. It's
But
just in
easier.
a separate area. Yeah, and it's like yeah, it is a little silly the whole Tain's laboratory. Like I haven't entered Tain's laboratory this league yet, and I have some organs. I'm sure I could do a couple, but I don't know. Unless I get really lucky, I guess you make your chaos and you get a couple catalysts and you just dip out. It's nothing too crazy. Like I've never heard of anybody farming metamorph, like buying organs. Like, oh, dude, you got to
Yeah.
bulk buy organs and run these. You're gonna make 3x. Nobody's ever said that. No one ever wants to buy or even sell their organs.
I tried it on Metamorph and I saw like I kinda got my money back, kinda, just barely.
Yeah, if you get those
But
good ones, yeah.
yeah, and I was buying the good ones, like the
Mhm.
valuable something something, and you buy a
Yeah,
couple
then
of
there's like
those.
blight maps. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that, but
Yeah,
yeah, that
and
was a metamorph league kind
it's
of
not
thing.
fun. It's I don't know.
No.
It's weird. So yeah, I
Mhm.
really don't like what they did with Metamorph, and also it's weird because every time you do a Metamorph, like Tane talks to you and said like, "We almost there for the other thing we're gonna do," and there is no other thing. There's no other thing, and I don't know. Like I feel just like I don't know if you knew this, but Blight they were they got fuck they got the lines for for Cassia for the Overblight just when Blight released. Like people got the metadata
Oh
for
yeah.
that, and she said, spoiler alert, like we got to the heart of the Blight, and that
Mhm.
line never went to the game, never. Like they never did something. Maybe they were short on time or something. And
Yeah.
exactly that feels with Metamorph. Like there was something else like on top of the Tane lab, and we never got it. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Well, you've got to keep in mind too with Metamorph League, it was the expansion league. So it was
Oh
like
yeah,
the
that's
equivalent
true.
to Ritual, right? Like Metamorph came out with Conquerors of the Atlas. So really like all the fun of Metamorph was the Conqueror stuff, right? And Cyrus and
That's true.
everything
That's
there.
true.
Like they always, they've got like a little mini thing, right? It's like a whatever league with whatever. Like Ritual is not that crazy. There's no end game Ritual thing. It's like you're stuck in a little arena, and it's kind of like Ultimatum. And that was the meme, right? LT was Ritual 2.0, right? You're like
Yeah.
stuck in a circle, and you gotta kill the monsters. It's not too interesting, but then there was the Maven stuff, things like that. They always do a little low effort thing there. I feel like Metamorph, it's not the most interesting, but it was one of those leagues that definitely got carried by the expansion. But I mean, that's kind of to be expected.
Yeah, also like next league, they're gonna rework the Atlas. Like they pretty much confirm it. Like they're gonna be only 100 maps, if I'm not mistaken. What do you think
Yep,
about that? Do
and
you think
4
that's good?
regions.
And for regions,
Yeah, I
that's
think
the
that's really
big one.
yeah. I think that's really good because I did a leapfrog Atlas strategy video, and just like explaining it all like step by step. It took so long, and there's like so much stuff that you like have to remember. It's like, oh, if you don't put your watchstone here, or if you spawn your conqueror wrong, like now it's like a little bit goofed up, and like it's like it's so confusing to get it all figured out. And you see that when they talked about it with Chris Wilson. he even like admitted himself he doesn't know how Atlas progression works. Like he like not even Chris Wilson knows, man. Like what the hell, right? Like it's so complicated. So it's like it did need to be addressed. I'm very happy with the 4 regions. I hope they don't like axe any really good Atlas passives out because they're taking it
That's my
from obviously
fear.
the 8 down to 4. Yeah. So I hope all the good ones are there. I don't know how that's going to be balanced. I don't know if they're just going to combine them all. Like all the Legion ones go to one place, all the Harvest ones go somewhere, and you have like even longer harvest trees or something where there could be a branching path there instead of 2 separate regions. I'm excited for it though. I
Yeah.
think me and probably you, like Atlas taking a little longer just means like an extra day or 2 of playing in the league. But like for somebody else, just some dude who comes home after work and plays the game, it's like days. He's just
Like a
like
week.
grinding out like Atlas. Yeah. It's like his league start is like so long, right? And there's so much shit. You have to do all 164 maps, and then you have to do all your Maven invitations, or at least like 3 of them, so you can fill out 1 branch in each region. And then you really, really are incentivized to do all of the maps again at higher Awakener levels, and then Maven invitations. And then it's like, oh, all right, I can finally start playing the game.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
finally, I
exactly.
can start mapping. And like, I think removing that would be very nice, right? You can finally play the game a little bit earlier into the league.
Yeah, I feel that like right now I'm like a week into making a build, and since I only play when I'm streaming, like each day we make one item. And
Yeah.
people are like, all right, there is no gameplay. Look, this is the gameplay. We're making a boots this day. And yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
I feel like people feel exactly the same. Like, oh shit, I need to finish my tier 16s. I need to do this or this, and then I can start playing the game. And that's not good. That's not good. I fear, I'm afraid for the Atlas passives because I think the right way to do it is just to combine it. Like you have the same, like, and you can just choose like the same. You had what
Yeah.
8 points, I think. 8 points for per tree or
Yeah.
10 points. I don't remember.
I think we all get 10 points, right?
10 points.
Or yeah. Because you could do 3 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 points. So you have 10 points, but you have twice as much possibilities. So I think that's the good way to do it. But I'm sure, like I can bet my life they won't do that. They won't do it. They're gonna be like, yeah, that's too many points. So we're just gonna cut, the harvest one. Yeah, fuck that shit. But we're gonna cut that. The Legion, that's too rewarding. The 1% to Legion emblem, yeah, cut that shit as
No
well.
way.
They're
I
gonna
hope
be like
not.
that. I'm so sure they're gonna do that.
We'll see.
Oh no,
I've got
please.
I've got big hopium for the next league. I think they're fixing it all. It's gonna be great. We're gonna have Uber content. They're gonna add some tiers to flasks. We get our T1 adrenaline back. We'll see
Ooh.
though. We'll see.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be that's interesting. I just hope they're gonna put like tiers on top of what we have. Like they're not gonna
Mhm.
be like 6 to 8% is what we have today. Well, that's tier 2 now, and you start at tier 5, so you get 1 to 2% to start, and you need to grind to tier 2. Nah, dude, fuck me, please don't do
Well,
that.
yeah, I think adrenaline. I feel like they talked about it already. I feel like T1 adrenaline's going back to at least like very close to what it used to. Maybe like 25 move speed or something.
All
So
right,
that's like really nice. It just they're making
it's
it like
good.
more difficult to roll instead of just like you hit it once and now you're golden. They make it so it's a little more alt spammy, I guess.
So I have another one. What about if they go rare, just like delirium clusters?
Really rare on flasks?
Yeah, it's too
I don't know,
deterministic, bro.
dude.
It's too deterministic. So we're just gonna
No
make
way.
it like really, really rare. Like 50,
You gotta
and you have 5k to hit, I don't know, less stun chance or something.
yeah, they give it the weighting, they give the watchstones and whatnot. You have 7 weighting out of thousands to hit your
That's
one
the Harbinger,
T1
right?
adrenaline.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Harbinger one. I think there's a Beyond one like that, or
yeah.
there's a Harvest one close.
It's I don't know about waiting. That's another whole topic about that. Like, let's talk a
Yeah.
little bit about that. Like, harvest. What do you think about the harvest? You think harvest was a good idea? Was a mistake? What do you think?
Harvest was really cool because they said we're gonna fuck it all up. All right, it's
Yeah.
gonna be way too OP. This is gonna be crazy. All right, you're gonna be able to make crazy gear. It's gonna be super fun, but it's gonna be for one league, and we're taking it out at the end. And everyone was like, "All right, okay." And they took it out. We had Heist League, and they're like, "All right, Harvest is coming back. We're changing it, and it's going core." And fucking nothing was changed.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Nothing was changed. And I was like, woo, we got old Harvest back. All right, it's core. And they're like, yo, Harvest was way too overpowered. I was like, what do you mean? Like, you thought about it all Heist League.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck happened? Like, what happened, dude? We just don't build our garden anymore, but like all the crafting power was there, right? Like they only changed that. So it was really silly. But I think obviously old Harvest was too OP because it had too much power for like one system. And Harvest is still really, really good. The reforges are super OP. I mean, you see that with the Forbidden Right build. Like, so many of the gear pieces are like, all right, sit there, reforge whatever, and until you get this, or do this. Like suffixes cannot be changed, and then reforge more life. Like that is still very, very powerful. I would like more crafting options, like spread throughout the game a little bit. And I think stuff like waiting can be like a little unforgiving sometimes. Like hitting like certain mods just takes like so many essences or fossils or like anything. And then like harvest, like you could do harvest haywork and you can farm it. You get the watchstones and you're gonna find harvest. And then you do Zana missions. Sometimes she gives you harvest. But like farming essences this league, like how are you gonna do that? Like to farm mass essences, right? Not like 5, like 100, 150, 200 or more.
The ones you want. It's
Just
so
do
hard.
haywork. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like if you're trying to farm greed essences so you can craft something, uh, you just can't this league unless you're okay with getting one essence in a haywork map every time you do it, unless you get the 10% proc or whatever it is.
You need
A
to
lot of stuff
trade
like that.
for that.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and trading sucks.
It's rough.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Trading is kind of a chore.
It's I don't know about harvest. In some way I want seeds back in some way because you at least can be like, all right, I'm gonna kill my monsters, I'm gonna plant my seeds, but I'm gonna plant exactly the seeds I want. If I wanna look for reforged speed, I wanna look for reforged chaos. I know this. I'm not gonna hit the augment chaos. I won't hit it. I know, but I at least can get like 10 reforged chaos. But right now it's a pain. So, and actually harvest, like if you see like you said in TFT, harvest is really valuable. Like if you wanna be a hideout warrior and just go to harvest and wait there until people buy stuff from TFT, you can get easily 100 C per harvest. Easily. Like how much?
Yeah.
How much is a reforge? A reforge, chaos or whatever, like 20 C a reforge, 20, 15 C.
Can you really sell just for Forge Chaos?
Yeah, you can.
Oh.
Like I've done that. I want a reforge chaos. I'm just gonna go to TFT and buy a reforge chaos. And there's people that do that. Like there is not many because it's a pain. Like you don't want to sit and harvest. I don't know, watch Netflix or something. Like you don't want to do that. You want to play PoE. So I don't know. Harvest is weird. It's in a weird place, and I don't know what we can say to Chris to I don't know, dude. Like, or you make it easy to trade harvest, or actually kind of like remove it. I don't know, but like because what happens in my brain, because I know harvest exists, right? So if I'm gonna craft something that have a lot of chaos modifiers, I know harvest is the way, but I don't want to deal with that. So I'm gonna do other thing then I'm gonna waste a lot of currency doing the other thing that is inefficient. So I feel stupid doing that. And
Yeah.
I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one to feel that way. And Chris can say
And
like, "Oh, you can
yeah,
trade." No, bro, I cannot trade. I can't do it. It's so
yeah, like the
painful.
off and whatnot. Like I don't even really consider augments in the game most of the time,
Yeah,
just
me
because
neither.
like
Right now,
aug
it's too
life,
expensive.
yeah, like it's insanely priced. They're so rare, and this league especially, there's not that many people playing, and it feels like a little slow. Like no matter what you're doing or whatnot, like there's less people playing, there's less trade there, and now there's less people farming harvest. So anytime someone does get a harvest, like it's just like crazy priced. Like it's always so it's so overpriced for what you might want to, add to your item, right? Like, it's like, I want a YOLO chaos resistance on something. Well,
Mhm.
like me YOLOing chaos resistance is going to cost like 8 or more exalts. Like, I don't even know I don't know what an Og chaos goes for right now. Like the last time I check on these things, they're like 6, 8x each. Like you're never getting like, like a decent deal. And what are you going to do? Like X slam it now? Like at the end, it costs 1x, right, to X slam, but you're not getting anything
Not
really
even
good
that.
unless,
You do Leo Slam.
yeah, I guess you do Leo slam if you grind up that, save a little bit of money there. But yeah, I don't know. I think the augment things, I think it's not unreasonable to maybe want the rarity down a little bit, so you can at least have a chance at one. Like I know each league I get like 1 or 2 augments, and
Oh, really?
it's just I sell them because I can never rely on them. Yeah, I farm some harvest sometimes. Like for crafting my FR gear, I did a fuck ton of harvest with all the watchstones and whatnot. So that made it a lot easier to get some of them. But like easier being like I farmed hours, 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 and like I got lucky finding like 1 augment, I think defense it was, and then 1 augment chaos. And then like it just got used on like some dude's cluster. And he didn't even hit it.
Yes.
And I sold it for like 8 exalts or
Oh.
something. Right? And it was like I was like,
That's
sorry man, thanks for the money, I guess.
that's what I was gonna say. Like some augments are almost like not even an augment. Like if you're gonna augment life, you wanna do it in a cluster where you're gonna hit Dorjani's lesson. I think that's the one that give you elemental leech, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Dorian's lesson, yeah.
Yeah,
You
that
hit
one.
it on a guaranteed one, yeah.
Yeah, you hear it. So there is some augments that only good for those specific things. So if you have like,
Mhm.
I just want to get some life on this, yeah, you're gonna pay 20x for some maybe 20 life. No, dude, you won't do that. So you're only gonna sell it to the guy that is almost with the almost perfect cluster that will get obviously Dorjanis because it's the only one you can hit. So
Yeah.
augments right now they don't even like fit what Chris want because Chris want RNG baby, just go. You maybe get it, you maybe don't get it. But nobody does that because we know how rare it is. Like for example, I play a lot of PoE. Like right now, not so much because I only play when I'm streaming. But like the first maybe 2-3 weeks of the league, I played a lot. I always play a lot of PoE. I haven't
Mhm.
seen a single augment. Maybe like last league, I maybe saw one, and I played a lot last league. Yeah, and 3 leagues, like I haven't seen like too many. Like I can for sure count it with my hands. There is no way I've seen more than 3. There is no way. So it's really interesting for me. Like you have seen 2 so far in this league.
Well,
It's
yeah. The watchstones help a lot. Like I think it's like 3 mature. Uh the chance to grow a higher tier plant, if you get 3 or 4 of those, they do stack, which is one of those like unintuitive game mechanics.
yeah.
Like it's something players had to go and test. But something like that, it does stack, so that does help. You get higher tier plants. But like I don't know, like things like that, it sucks because you can never rely on getting any of those like kind of crafts, and you can never rely on getting like a T4 seed anywhere. Like I got one Jannar yesterday, and I just expect that to be the only one I get all league. And I got a Reforge Influence. And Reforge, including influence modifier, is like
Mm.
6 exalts right now. Not even the augment. I'm pretty sure the augment's like 20 to 40
Yeah,
exalts, something like that.
the argument
There's
is
like one
20,
dude
20
that has one.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, like stuff like that is just crazy. But it sucks to not be able to rely on stuff like that because it would be cool to use it, right? Like I wanna do some Reforge influence shenanigans, or I want to be able to like augment, like slam something, but I think maybe they're just gonna have that kind of stuff in another crafting system. Or what it seems like is Chris doesn't like crafting being the best way to get the best gear. So I don't know how the fuck we're getting the best gear then if we're not crafting it, because we can't get it from the ground, right?
Yeah,
Unless they
exactly.
start dropping double influenced, well rolled items.
They
I'm just
Chris
up there.
kinda threw a little hint that we might not have conquerors soon. What do you think about that? Not having conquerors, not having influence stuff. What do you think about that?
Mm. Uh, I think it would be. I don't know what they would do then with all the influence mods, unless they just unless they put it all in a global pool and like really change the weightings around, because then you're gonna have like a really really tricky time rolling anything decent if there's so much stuff in the pool, because like having a hunter base locks in like a few items, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, if I have hunter on my belt, now I could get a chaos prefix for chaos damage or something like that.
Yes.
But if that's like, everywhere, it's like, like holy fuck, like it becomes so much harder to craft. But like I guess, you could ID some crazy, piece of gear off the ground, right? Like minus resistance, max power charge helmet. Like, I guess, yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully, it's one of those things that gets figured out before the league launches.
I was thinking about this, and this is maybe crazy, but if this happens, I may be a genius. What about this? What about this? What about if the item level of the item locks only, you can only roll stuff that is like harvest, like 10 item levels lower or 10 item levels higher. So if you have like item level 84 chest, you can only roll like tier 4 life until to tier 1. I don't know if I'm explaining myself.
No, that makes sense. Yeah,
What do you
like
think about that?
it stops like the lower mods and whatnot.
Yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
you cut all of that, having a item level item, a really
It
high
makes
item
it
level.
tricky because then when you do that, unless the weightings are like a lot different, then it makes it really maybe too easy to get
Maybe
like
too
a really
easy.
good
Yeah.
piece. But then, maybe it's good that it becomes much easier to find like good upgrades off of the ground once you're doing higher tier content. I could see them doing something like that. There's always going to be like those shit mods though, like fizz to attackers, right? They always are like life regen, like 1.7 life regen. Like they always are going to have stuff like that, or else you're always getting resistance, always getting life, always, whatever. Um, but yeah, it's just really tricky. I hope they get it figured out well. Because I mean, we can sit here and try to do whatever at the end of the day, but it's so hard to like imagine your crafting idea across like everybody, and then
Yes.
especially when people start doing like juice content where like thousands of items are dropping. So like, like are all of those going to be really good? So it sucks to like leave any behind or something. I don't know. It's such a tricky problem. I think they've managed well enough so far, but we are starting to see like, some issues with it, and
Yep.
it seems like they do want to change crafting and whatnot. So
Yeah.
good luck to it.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, I don't know. We can just throw ideas at them and see what they come up to. But yeah, there is every single idea you have about how to fix something fucks other thing. For example,
Exactly.
like the Ethan level stuff I just said. Like I just thought there is some bows you only want Ethan level 50 because you don't want to hit the other modifiers. So now you don't, like, that strategy is blow off already because
Mhm.
you can do it anymore.
Yeah,
And
like the best way to get life and resistance gear would be to farm like a level like I don't know 70 boss or something because it locks out like all the other higher level mods which would dilute you getting life and res in like every slot. Like yeah, there's there's like so many like dumb little things where it's like, "Ooh, what if we change this?" And then like everything crashes over here. It's like, "Oh, god damn it. Like how are we going to solve this problem?" Right? But yeah, it's so tricky. I can't imagine being in their shoes and having only
yeah,
13 weeks every week
yeah,
to
that
like make drastic changes.
that's insane. Like I said, like I'm a developer, and just thinking about going live every 13 weeks, that's crazy, dude. What the fuck?
Mm.
I'm like, they probably thought about that, and they cannot drop that now. Like, but it's
No, yeah.
crazy. Like, it's insane the amount of content they have. Like, I'm trying always not to be harsh with them, but because I cannot imagine how much work they have to do. That's not easy. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
it's not easy.
Yeah.
Like, thinking about that, if you could like have Chris Wilson and talk to him, have like one question, what would it be? You can ask one question, only
Okay.
one,
One
only
question to
one.
Chris Wilson.
Yeah,
I would have to plan that one out so much because I'd have to make it like so worth it. Off the
yeah,
cuff, if he just like joined the Discord call, I have
yeah.
no idea what the fuck I would ask him. But I think it would be maybe something along the lines of end game farm loops or something like that.
Mm,
Um, because I know it was too much, but fractured delirium or grand heist things, I think that was something that was like really cool in my mind and it worked really well. Where you'd have deep delvers going and getting fractured
yes,
fossils, and you would take that fractured fossil and you would like create even more money from it, right? Like I remember Grand Heist, I think Heist League, the fractured fossils were like 1.9x or like something like that.
yes.
And you get even more than that from your Grand Heist, right? So like you have deep delvers making profit from that, and then you make even more doing your heists or even the delirium maps. And what I liked about that the most, and I understand why I can't come back because it was a little OP, right? Making a 100 deli map with sextants can't be consumed and like fractured beyond on there.
Yeah.
Like that was really fucking cool, but it was probably a little bit much. I liked not having to trade so goddamn much though. Being able to save all of your scarabs because you did scarab delirium orbs, and all you buy are fractured fossils, and you just fracture fossil 10 to 100 deli maps. And now you don't have to buy the delirium orbs, you don't have to buy sextants, you don't have to roll sextants.
You can just play the game.
Yeah, you just like blast, right? And I think that's a problem in their end game farming loop, right? Where you roll a bunch of stuff up, you roll all your maps, you get all your scarabs ready. Like I like to have them all in a stash tab, right? I do a row of maps and I do rows of scarabs down the line, and then I have prophecies at the end so that I click it after I'm done with every map. And once I get through all of those, I'm not rolling any more maps for the day, right? Because that sucks. I don't want to go trade. I used all the scarabs. I bought exactly what I needed, unless I'm always buying an Omega surplus. It it's bad in my mind to have some part of the game just be kind of shitty and make the player want to quit, right? Like when you're done with all of your scarabs and it's getting late into the night, it's never going to be like one more map. It's like I'll buy scarabs tomorrow and then you log off, right? And I think that's like, maybe it's healthy to stop people from playing all night, right? But yeah, as far as making a game that feels good to play all the time, it's not very good at all to have something like that.
Yeah,
But
that's
you know,
another thing completely. But I agree. Like it's hard. It's hard to do that. But like in some form, if you're making a game, you need to have that game. That's the game that's ruining life. You know. That's the game that you see in the papers, in the in the news. Like this kid just died for playing 50 hours, 50 hours
yeah,
nonstop. You know you made it. But
yeah,
obviously
yeah.
there needs to be like a point you are like, all right, kid, like chill. You need to rest.
Yeah, and the Korean cafes, they're sitting there just
Holy shit,
unmoving
yeah.
for 15 hours and the blood clots and whatnot. Yeah. You see that happen in what, like WoW and
Yeah.
StarCraft? Because in games like that, there's always something to do, like StarCraft, League especially, you just queue up
It-
another game, right? Unless you get really pissed.
no, that's when you queue another game because you cannot go without winning. Like that's what
Yeah,
happened when I
exactly.
play Dota. Like I lose and this 1 in the morning, I'm like, fuck, I need to win the next one. So
Yeah.
and you just
I'm
play
gonna
another
win the next
one.
one. I'm gonna troll it up. If anybody tries fucking with this game, we're going down together. All right, fuck you. I'm bringing you down with me.
Like in Dota, there is this hero that's called Tiny. Tiny is like a rock, and he throw people. Like you can throw a teammate and throw it at the enemy. So
Oh no.
that's an interesting combo if you want to do it. But if you don't want to do it, there is no way to avoid it. Like there is some like settings in Dota to prevent teammates from trolling, but there is no way to escape from that. Like if you
Yeah, if
really
you're
want
just
to do it,
aggressive,
they
dude.
can't go away. So yeah,
Yeah.
like that's the ultimate weapon for me. Like right before you, there's really not that problem now that I think about it. Like now, I don't know if League you can say I'm going mid before the game even starts.
Mhm.
You can do that.
Yes, you can queue as a mid
Oh,
player
all right,
and a jungler, or like mid and fill.
all
And then
right,
if you do fill, then it's like, you figure it out hopefully.
all right. Well, in
It's
Dota,
clever.
like some years ago, you cannot do that. Like you just go and good luck. Like I hope everybody understand each other. Like and I
That's what
was
League
like,
was.
I'm gonna play mid, and there's some other asshole that no, I'm gonna play mid. All right, I'm just gonna play tiny. Yeah. Fuck you.
Exactly. Yeah. You used to have that in League too, where everybody just queues up. And what would happen is like whoever got to pick the champion
Oh
first,
yeah.
if like that guy wanted mid, and some people were like, no, I said it in the chat first. And it's like,
Oh
I didn't
yeah.
fucking connect until after you said that. So in my screen, I said it first. All right. I didn't have a chance to say it before you. I'm first. I'm going mid. All right. Suck it. Right. Like what the fuck are you going to do? All right. Come join me mid, I guess.
Yeah, and the other team is like, well, there's dual mid now, and against against two guys in mid. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I don't know. That's fun.
Yeah. And it's very fun.
Well, I'm just gonna ask you. Like, I know you're trying to play a lot of PoE, but if you quit the league, what you gonna do until the next league? Like, there is any game you're looking like, yeah, this game looks fun or anything?
Uh, I feel like playing the other ARPGs, like what is it? No,
Last
it's not Lost
Epoch.
Ark. Yeah, Epoch. Everyone's playing Last Epoch. I think something like that works really well to like keep the content kind of thing going. It's still an ARPG. There are other PoE streamers there as well, so like it feels like it's kind of just like a sideways thing. I think something like that is what a lot of people are doing and will do in the future as well. I
For
think
sure.
games like that are like PoE off-season kind of games. If I was just gonna do like my own thing, I would probably just play some old game on an emulator. Like I mentioned, like Metal Gear. Like I never played the Metal Gear games. Like those always seem really fun,
Oh,
or
really?
something like that, or maybe just like play some games with the boys or something, right? Like find some game to play with everybody on stream, like Jackbox, or we could even, get Super Smash Brothers Melee up or something like that, right? And play over net play on emulators. Like stuff
Uh,
like that would be a blast. But other than that, yeah, it's just PoE, baby.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like I try to do like the same thing. Like maybe I hit like I I try not to be like only RPG focus. I know that's like we are drifting from the PoE conversation right now. Like I know this is into the streaming stuff, but
Hmm.
like if we are like business focused, maybe if we can call it like that, we should be playing the same type of stuff. If we're playing
Hmm.
PoE, we should be playing like Diablo, we should be playing Last Epoch, Green Dawn, or whatever. But I try to play just whatever I feel like playing. Like I don't know. It obviously like there is a lot of people that don't watch it, but I don't know. It's fun. You're going to the same path. And that's good. but because right now everybody knows, like when you change the game, you lose a big portion of your audience. So you're
Yeah.
just doing whatever it feels good for you, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
good.
like, I'm trying to like keep balling it up. Like, late league is a really good time to stream. You can catch a lot of people. Like, there's still tens of thousands playing Path of Exile,
Yeah.
and so like I've always streamed to Path of Exile. I did uh, I think it was Heist League. Sometimes I would do some grand heisting, and I'd play Fall Guys afterwards.
Oh,
And very quickly I stopped doing that because I don't know, it was like way too awkward, and then like there's like shit like that. I was like playing with friends, but it was fun for a little bit. But yeah, I try to just focus on just Path of Exile. So every time someone sees me go live, it's like, all right, he's playing PUE or something, and at some point I'd like to have some off season, but I don't know. With the streaming thing, I feel like you never really feel like you're there yet until I don't know, you're so far and beyond probably where you could already be comfortable swapping over in the off season or something like that.
well, I got you for like an hour and 15 minutes a lot. Like maybe we can do like one more question if you, or anything you want to ask, and we wrap it up. That's good for you.
Yeah. I'm fine with whatever. I don't have too many plans today. I was gonna do some gauntlet something maybe, or maybe just chill and farm some maps. I'm playing the gauntlet this weekend, but it's saboteur, which should be fine, but it's still gauntlet at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll just save all the gauntleting for tomorrow.
Yeah,
Not get
Gauntlet.
in a tilty
I
mood.
don't know, dude. I tried. There was something like a gauntlet in the Spanish community. They call it the la playa, that will be the beach, the beach,
Hmm.
because everybody starts at the beach and you go to the beach again, again, again,
Yeah,
and
everyone is
it
always
was
the
like
beach.
that. And it was
Yeah.
just like that, like super hard, more projectiles, more damage, more stuff. And I tried once, and it feels so random sometimes because you're doing fine, and some random white monster kills you out of nowhere. And actually, to be honest, that happens on PoE like regularly. So I don't know, like
Yeah.
super
There
hard
are just
content in
random
PoE.
monsters in the gauntlet. Yeah. Like it's just like flame torch throwers or anything that does physical conversion. It's like you're
Oh,
you're starting to like nerd it out, right? It's like, oh shit, like this is a cold goat. He uses glacial cascade, which is physical conversion, which means all the gain fizz's extra elemental damage is gonna make this, and you just have to like know that a random goat's gonna gank you. Or like, oh shit, these spiders are crazy because they shoot chaos projectiles. It's just so much random stuff like that in the gauntlet. It makes it so frustrating. But I play widescreen with a black bar on the
oh,
bottom, um, and so like my POE is zoomed out compared to everybody
yeah.
else. So I try to like off screen everything. Like Act One is just you throwing mines as far as you can, and like you kill like the Roa, and then you throw mines all the way over there, and you kill the other Roa, and you just like try to never ever get touched. Like you have paper bones and whatnot.
Yeah,
It is a little
it's
different.
weird, but it's, I don't know, it's fun to watch. Like I like to watch it. Like some guys,
Mhm.
like I don't know, there is Dan and Tai Tai Killer. I don't remember the other guys, but there's some guys that are insanely good at that. Like it's amazing. It's always like another game to watch and to play
Yeah.
sometimes.
I like it. It is cool. I don't like playing it that much. Uh because I'm a softcore player, I really don't like the hardcore like punishment of like I fucked up one thing and now I have to like spend 20 hours remaking my character like all the way up to that point. Like I really don't like those kind of setbacks. It just feels bad to me. But I do like how much skill and player potential the gauntlet brings out. Like you've got
Yeah.
fucking professional World of Warcraft players coming over, like Darky and I'm Exile. Like you have like all these crazy people like from different games, and they come together because the gauntlet's put on, right? And I really like that we have something mid league that brings people back, at least like watching it and interested into it. And I think it's really, really nice to have monetary prizes from Zizaran
Yeah.
because it's like it's really fucking cool, right? Like these pro WoW players make more just doing the gauntlet for PoE. Then they made doing their like mythic like dungeon tournament or whatever the fuck it was. Like World of Warcraft, like Blizzard themselves sponsors these events, and they don't pay out as much as like Path of Exile's like big streamer just putting on an event, right? Like that's so cool, dude.
Yeah.
It's like a middle finger to Blizzard, and you know, it's like a cool badge for the PoE community.
Before we close, just because you mentioned it, I wanted to talk about it, but I don't want to put you on this on the spot. But what do you think about Blizzard right now? Like all that's happening there. What's your take on that?
With all the like weird sexual stuff, I mean,
Yeah, everything
it's
like
good. It's all coming out. Yeah, as long as like it's all verified. Like, you know, there's a lot of like weird shit that happened. As long as it's all like, you know, real and whatnot. I mean, get those people out and try to get some non-weirdos in there, right? Like, you know, it seemed like wasn't Blizzard the people who had like a literal Bill Cosby room?
Yep,
that was them, right?
The Cosby
like
suite.
stuff like that. You can joke. I'm fine.
That's
like I'll joke about that with my
insane.
friend, but when that's like when you're doing that on like a business fucking trip or something, like Jesus
That's
Christ,
insane.
dude, like what the fuck? Yeah. Like you can like I'll talk shit with my friends or like make an edgy joke or something, but you can't fucking do that like on business trips. Like you can't I don't know, like especially if you're not even like joking about like whatever weird creepy shit you're doing, like obviously stuff like that. I mean, like it has no place there. So, you know, get the fucking weirdos out and get some actual Normans in there to make good games and not all this weird degenerate, you know, fucking shit that's going on over there.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
I completely agree on that. I completely agree. But the other thing that it's hard to with Blizzard because they have like Activision on their shoulders, and I was looking at this video. Like Activision makes like 80% or 90% of the revenue with Candy Crush and Call of Duty. So the whole Blizzard is less than 20%. So how they can like make good games when like Activision only wants to get more money out of them? Or I don't know, like I'm just speculating. Obviously nobody knows, at least you are inside the circle now, but it's a fact. It's a fact. Like it's insane. Like I never thought about this, but Warcraft is literally like 10% or 5% of what Candy Crush is. So what?
Yeah, the mobile games are huge. That's why they did Diablo Immortal and whatnot. It's just it's so low budget compared to like how much money you can make out of it, right? It's so little input, so much output. They are like really focusing on that, and it does well in like other markets, right? Like the Eastern markets, like Asia and whatnot, really like mobile games, just because like you can play them on the go, and you know you can make progress with little micro transactions and whatnot. Diablo 4, I hope that's a pretty fun one. I have no expectations for it.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I hope
it'll be fun no matter what for a couple weeks, right? But I'm never worried about anything killing PoE really, because Blizzard just can't keep up with the content cycle here unless they're also gonna have free content every 3 months, right? Like what other game does this? Like League of Legends adds a new champion every couple months, like one champ, right? But like Path of Exile is doing new leagues, like huge expansions in the winter, like you know stuff like that. I don't know. And then Blizzard creating all their new games, like WoW is kind of on a decline, although it has been for a while. And the Warcraft remaster and whatnot, I don't think that went really well.
Holy
StarCraft
shit! That hurt my soul because I was telling you like before the podcast, I really liked Warcraft 3. That was one of my favorite games. It was the first game I was like, holy shit, like lore in games are really cool because like I don't know if you know the story of Warcraft 3, like you play the campaign. It's really fun. Like I don't know. Obviously there is other games that have a good story, but that was the first game that I played. I was like, holy shit, wait, I'm the bad guy? Because you start playing with Arthas, so you're like, holy shit, what?
Yeah.
And it was really
Warcraft
fun.
games were sick. Exactly. Yeah, the story was good.
And the reforge
Gameplay good.
that becomes the refund, it was like, holy, that hurt my soul because I really wanted to see like the new animation and stuff. I was so close to buy it, and it was terrible. It's terrible in so many ways. Like, it not only was bad, but it killed the other game. Like, if you had Warcraft 3, the original, the OG one, you cannot play it on Battle.net anymore. Like, it kills the server. Like, it's terrible. Like, some stuff that's happening in Blizzard is it's just sad. Like, I don't even like I'm happy about that because everybody, I when I talk about this, I always said, like, if you have at least like 25 years old, you remember when the best games ever came from Blizzard. If you wanna make a game, you wanna,
Computer games.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, you wanna work at Blizzard making games. Like, that's their goal. That's the standard for gaming. And right now, it's just sad to talk about it. But what? Well, whatever. Jumping back because I hold you like a long time. I appreciate your time. Like,
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me on.
yeah, it's amazing to talk to you. I really appreciate taking some time off to share your thoughts with us. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, sure. If you anything I can do for you, just ask. I'm here in the Spanish community. It's very welcoming as well.
All right. Yo, thanks again. And same back to you. All right. If you need any help, hit me up too. I'll try. I'll Google translate any of your chatter's messages.
Well, that's it for the fifth crossover. XD, not cringe.
Not cringe. We did it. Not that cringe, at least.